At the beginning of the film, it is explained that since 2013, America, controlled by a party called the New Founding Fathers, has implemented a policy that every night on March 22nd, the Purge, or cleansing night, will be held. At that time, all citizens are free to kill to vent their anger without fear of being arrested by the police. Then a man named James Sandin, a security system designer, is shown. He is very happy because his design is selling well, as tonight the Purge will be held. He even greets his neighbor named Mr. Callie, who apparently bought his security system. An hour before the Purge, James, who lives in an elite housing estate, finally returns home. There he is greeted by his wife named Mary, who is preparing dinner. Then their daughter named Zoe is shown, who is alone with her boyfriend named Henry. However, their intimacy must end because they hear James return. Zoe hopes her boyfriend does not participate in the Purge night. Meanwhile, outside, Mary is met by a neighbor named Grace and the Halverson family. They also bought James's security system and hope to survive the night. It can be concluded that rich people choose to stay at home. They also have a robot belongs to their son named Charlie. Although they have gone through the Purge for several years, Charlie is still afraid and feels this policy is inhumane. During dinner, James informs that he has made a large profit from the sale of his security systems. When the Purge ends, he plans to take them for a vacation, as they have done in previous years. The Purge begins precisely at 7 p.m. Then James shows his security system design, which has many monitors and CCTV cameras. Finally, with a password, a steel layer descends to cover all the doors and windows of the house. Even so, James has a large supply of weapons for precaution. Then there is an announcement that the Purge will begin when the siren sounds. They are given time until 7 a.m. to kill each other. From the announcement, it is also known that the police and the army will be temporarily deactivated. Confident with that security system, they continue to go about their activities as usual. Zoe, who is lounging in her room, is surprised by the arrival of Henry, who managed to enter while they were having dinner. Henry plans to ask James for his blessing on their relationship, but Zoe is worried because tonight is not the right time. Meanwhile, in his office, James hears that since the implementation of the Purge, it has proven to reduce unemployment because the majority of those who kill each other are poor people, thus automatically boosting the American economy. Suddenly, Mary and James hear gunshots, but they do not care about it because they are sure they are safe. However, Charlie, with his robot, sees someone running. The man appears to be asking for help, and because all the houses there are locked, Charlie, feeling sorry, turns off the security system. Although it is activated again, the man manages to enter, and clearly, they are worried about his arrival. But suddenly, from behind, Henry shoots James, although James is not injured. However, due to this incident, the man disappeared. Meanwhile, Henry, who had participated in the Purge, was shot and eventually died. On the other side, they decided to hide in the monitor room due to the presence of a mysterious man who might be dangerous. James, worried about Zoe, searched for her in the rooms, but there was no need to fret because Zoe was already at the front door. She apologized for her boyfriend's extreme actions. However, from outside came a group of armed teenagers, and James, still looking for Zoe, saw their arrival. He quickly went to meet the others, and the CCTV monitors showed that the group consisted of many teenagers. The leader explained their purpose for coming: to kill a poor bloody man who had entered the house. Tonight, they intended to vent their anger by killing the bloody man, if James did not hand him over. The group would try to break into the house and kill them all. Soon after, the electricity went out. James informed that the steel layer could be breached if attacked brutally, so they had no choice but to hand over the bloody man. Then from the monitor, the leader's group was seen waiting outside the house. Both men and women would not hesitate to kill anyone mercilessly. Meanwhile, James and Mary continued to search for the bloody man, but with the lights out and the house being quite large, it was difficult to find him. However, Charlie, with his robot, managed to find the bloody man hiding behind the sofa. He signaled the bloody man to follow him until they reached a room. There, a secret room was hidden behind a wardrobe. Although small, the bloody man fit in there. At the same time, Mary, still searching, entered the room. She was suspicious of a noise from inside the wardrobe, but her attention was diverted when she heard a commotion. On the other side, The leader, impatient to kill, forced James to hand over the bloody man soon. The leader then shot his comrade dead. It was an early warning because later, they would slaughter James's entire family. Seeing that on the Purge night, everyone was free to kill anyone, including friends. Meanwhile, Charlie's robot, which was monitoring the room, was suddenly approached by Zoe. Frightened, she decided to hide in the wardrobe. Shortly after, James, passing by, saw the bloody man had taken Zoe hostage. He asked not to be handed over, or else he would shoot. A fierce fight ensued, and James managed to shoot, although it did not kill the bloody man. James then planned to surrender him by first tying him to a chair. However, it turned out to be quite difficult because he resisted. James instructed Mary to wound the bloody man right at the previous gunshot. Although this method worked, Mary felt that they were no different from the leader's group, which was also inhumane. Realizing he was a burden, the bloody man finally asked to be handed over. Then from outside, the leader's group with their car was seen trying to breach the steel layer. They had given some time but still had not succeeded. James instructed Charlie to hide because he would not hand over the bloody man, so they were forced to fight. Easily, the layer was breached, and although it seemed impossible, they had to fight for the safety of the family. All members of the leader's group, including men and women, were ready to kill mercilessly. Meanwhile, Zoe, who was hiding under the bed, was slowly approached by a group member. Fortunately, she was not discovered. On the other side, Charlie, about to hide behind the sofa, heard a noise. He was found by the group, but luckily James arrived in time and shot the person. James asked Charlie to stay hidden, and he continued to search for opponents. Soon he managed to kill one person. However, 2 more pairs arrived, leading to a fierce battle. 2 died, and then 1 appeared. That's how the fight continued, but James was able to kill more cruelly. But when James wanted to continue, he was suddenly stabbed by the leader. The leader was forced to do this because he was disappointed that the Sandin family was protecting the bloody man. James eventually collapsed, powerless. On the other side, Mary, who kept walking, never found an opponent, but suddenly resigned herself when about to be executed. However, shots came from the Halverson family, shocked by the recent events. Mary then walked outside and saw James severely injured. Along with that, Charlie came, but suddenly the leader appeared arrogantly, ready to execute them. However, because he talked too much, he was shot dead by Zoe. Finally, the entire group died, followed by James, who also could not be saved. Then the neighbors came, including the Grace family, the Halverson family, and Mr. Callie. Mary thanked them for their help, but instead of helping, the neighbors also targeted the Sandin family. They had long harbored envy towards the wealthy Sandin family. No matter how much Mary begged and cried, it was ignored. Fortunately, in the last moments, the bloody man, who had just appeared, was there. After so long, now it was the neighbors' turn to be cornered. However, Mary, still humane, instructed the bloody man not to shoot. After that, everyone waited for the purge to end at 7 a.m. Mary couldn't believe that all this time their neighbors had harbored envy. Although Grace wanted to kill Mary, the sirens suddenly sounded, signaling the end of the purge. The neighbors left, as did the bloody man. They thanked each other for saving one another. They survived a night so cruel. In the end, the sound of police sirens was heard, ready to clean up all the chaos. The film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing, you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.